All right.
Alrighty. Hey everyone, this is Robert. Thank you for tuning in to Station Square. And yeah, hope everybody is closing out this year prayerfully pretty strong because I know the holidays are coming up and you know that this season is always just kind of crazy because like what do we got? We got Hanukkah, we got Christmas, New Year, whatever else is happening in December, but you don't want to hear us ramble about the holidays. I mean, we kind of already talked about that before we even hit record, but I have my lovely guest in the corner. This is Susan Spano? Spano?
Spano, yeah. Susan
Spano,
Spano.
yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I think as a little bit of a fun fact before we actually continue with this, I think we actually met at a convention, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the LA Comic Con
LA Comic Con, yeah.
2025.
Yeah, you can kind of see the pictures on my Instagram, and I have still have a lot that I haven't even posted on there, but I just only had to choose like you got to pick the best ones, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I was just going through some. It's hard to keep. That was a busy weekend. I was there all 3 days,
Oh my
and
God.
it's just we do it, and I did a panel, and then I saw some other
Yeah.
panels and ran into people, and it was just like it's exhausting, but it's fun. So it does take like a minute to regroup.
I'm like, yeah, because I went on Saturday. I was gonna be there 3 days, but
Mhm.
I went with my mom, and we were just kind of like really not overwhelmed, but we were just kind of tired because we just needed one day just to rest at a hotel we were in. So Saturday and Sunday were like, yeah, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, those are like the 2 days where we were just like, okay, like let's just close out this weekend because it was also my birthday that time. So that was
Oh,
just
wow.
something that I did just to celebrate my birthday. So. I mean, I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
really
met your
ask.
mom. She's really sweet. She's really sweet. But when I saw her on the last day on Sunday, I was like, yeah, she's done. But she
No,
was still in good spirits. So yeah.
yeah, I'm so glad because I noticed that Sunday is always like the days where it was, yeah, I mean, even I was, because Saturday was really like the big day and we were just doing a bunch of different stuff. And then Sunday is like, yeah, then I
Right.
think that's when it starts to peter out. But I mean, I
Yeah, and I
still had a
think the
good,
last, because the panel that I participated in as a panelist was Saturday, and then Sunday I watched some panels, and the last panel I watched, which was the one that closed down Comic-Con, was the improv one, and it was with all these established actors that I think worked with Second City, and it was a riot. It was so much fun. I mean, it was just like, wow, what a way to end like this
yeah.
show.
Those improv panels are just always so much fun. I mean, you just never know, like, who's gonna be showing up on there, or who you're gonna get on,
Right.
each of these. You know, I mean, it really is just like it is one of those, man. It is one of those moments in your life where every time you see those, it's like, man, it is just those moments that you just cannot recreate. It is
No, you
like something
can't.
that you just cannot
Yeah. Yeah, it's
do over
magic.
again.
It's magic.
It
When it's
really
good,
is.
it's magic. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just so glad you actually, yeah, we were just able to talk about Comic Con, and that kind of does bring up the discussion of like conventions in general, because I know that I think this month they just recently did their Nava,
The Nava Gala?
the Nava Gala, yeah,
Yeah, I
and
went to that.
those,
That was amazing.
I know, yeah, I always wanted to go to one of these, and it just always happens during a weekend that without fail, I'm just not available. Something always I either have a commitment that I got to do or just stuff just always be, and it's just
Are you a
never
Nava
really
member? Are you a
Am I a
Nava member?
Nava? Uh,
Because oh, you know what? I'll send it to you. The National
yeah,
Association of Voice Actors. They're
yeah.
really
I mean, I did
helpful.
apply for it, but I don't think I wouldn't say that I'm really a member, but I mean, I've done a lot of different like stuff. Like I've interviewed
Yeah.
Tim on here, and
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you qualify for a member, but we can
qualified.
talk
Yeah,
about it because
yeah,
it
for
might be
sure.
worth your time to do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But it's usually like just scheduling conflicts that just
Yeah.
simple as that. That the reason that I couldn't really
Yeah.
join, and also it just happens on a weekend where it's just no good for me at all.
Right. You never
I
know.
mean,
Every week it changes
yeah,
all the time, but also
it
the gala is
does.
just one thing, and then the NAVA membership, like there's free classes and there's
Yeah,
a lot of legal help and there's other benefits. The NAVA is just like that year end, and it's great because there's everyone's there. So
yeah,
casting, directors, actors that you know or want to know, and it's great. It's really great. But we'll talk about it later because yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just like, but at least I could say that I can't make it because I'm sick. So that has never been the
Right.
case. Thank God.
Right. Healthy,
But
stay healthy.
yeah, being sick sucks. So I 10 out of 10 do not recommend. But yeah, so I guess we talked a little bit about like, but no, like doing events like these, just with Nava or just doing Comic Con. Like, what is something that you really enjoyed the most? Because I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, but
Well,
I just want to have another
so,
perspective.
I've been to San Diego Comic-Con in the past.
That's
I was
enough,
never,
man.
right, I was never on a panel. So, Jeff Burns invited me to the LA
I love
Comic-Con, and this was
Jeff.
my first panel. And this was really fun because I felt like the energy between, so we all as actors had this great energy, and then the audience had this great energy, and then Jeff as a moderator is great, and there was just this flow of energy back and forth, and it just felt really good. So that was fun, and I think this Comic Con, I did meet a lot of people that I have only met briefly, and I got to hang out and talk with them and meet new people, and it was just fun. Friday I spent the time just going around, like Jeff and I just went around, and then Saturday was my panel, and then Saturday and Sunday I saw other panels, but I just felt really part of the community. Whereas when I went to San Diego Comic Con years ago, even though my the Marvel movie that I was a lead in was there. They didn't invite the actors. They just did the producers. So I was like, I'm here if you want to talk to an
Oh,
actor,
like
but
come
they didn't
on.
promote it that way for Doctor Strange, the Supreme Sorcerer. So I didn't really feel, yeah, it was just like, whoa, this is really overwhelming. But at the LA Comic Con, I felt like, oh, I'm a part of this. So when I go to San Diego Comic Con this year, I think I will feel a part of it too because I got a professional badge. So I think it'll be a whole different experience. And I think this one kind of set me up to feel that. Yeah. And then the Nava Gala, I love. I mean, this is my second year going. This is the third year they've had it because I see people I've worked with. I see people I want to work with. I booked a couple jobs from just running into casting. Um, it's just really great because you just see people that you haven't seen in a long time or people you have seen, it's just good. It's really fun. And also it raises money for because Nava goes up to DC and they fight for us, and yeah, it's important. It's good to be part of that community.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that because I remember you did post your Instagram pics of like San Diego and stuff. And that's another
You
one where it's always because of scheduling conflicts that and also because they sell out extremely fast. And
Yeah, so
yeah,
when I used to go to San Diego Comic Con, I was a guest of an artist. So I never applied for a badge. And then this year I applied for a badge. So when you get a professional badge, you have a little bit longer of a window to purchase or get your tickets. I don't know if they're comped or purchased or they decide, but you have a little bit of a
yeah,
window. So it's a little bit of a benefit. I'm still figuring that out because
same here.
I I just narrated an audiobook, The Hostess, and the author, Kat Oyster, I was talking with her to see if maybe she wants to go. I don't know if she wants to promote her book, her audiobook, and it's also a hard copy book. It is sci-fi, so we're talking to see, and I don't even know if there would be a booth available. I gotta, so we're seeing if that's something that she wants to do. So we're kind of still figuring that out, but we'll see.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, it's really nice for Jeff to invite you. By the way, great dude.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, because when you do the panels, when you go to one of his panels that he moderates, it's like the energy, like you said, because a lot of us, even me, like we all have this energy, and when you put me, or like when the both of us are in a room with a lot of these and I say this with kindness, a lot of these really insane, just crazy people, then chaos just it just explodes, and there is no way to calm us down. Like
Like the eccentric, cool, fun
the
energy, I think is
eccentric
what you
cool
mean,
kid,
right? Yeah.
exactly, and like that. There's always that one group of kids that is like causing mayhem and trouble, but we're kind of like the eccentric kids that are just like, hey, you want to hear us just scream our heads off for an entire weekend? Well, you're
Yeah.
stuck with us, so. And hey, I mean, I'm glad you invited us, but now you're sticking with us. So, hey, it is. It's like two bird. It's like you invited even more mayhem to your event, and it's like, hey, well, I'm glad that we're able to oblige. So there you go.
It's good energy. Good energy.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
live wire energy. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And that kind of and I know we were just talking about a lot of the events, but I kind of wanted to know from you, like, what was something that kind of, like, speaking of energy, what was something that kind of ignited your, I guess, spark when it comes to, the showbiz, just all this acting,
Oh.
all in between? Yeah.
Well, I didn't start in voiceover. I mean, I started doing theater. I've always been
Oh, yeah.
fascinated with human behavior, and I have a need to understand human beings. Like I ask a ton of questions. I like to know people. I like to understand people. So, I have a friend, she always says when she introduced me, she's like, "This is Susan, and she's going to ask you a ton of questions." I'm curious. So, acting for me was always and read like I was a reader. I still am a reader. I started reading when I was like 4 or 5, like books, children's books obviously, but I was so literature and reading and now writing and acting, it's understanding human beings. So that's what got me into acting. And then I was in a play in New York, and an agent approached me after the show, and she was like, I'm a voiceover agent. I would love for you to call my office and let's set up a meeting." So I did that, and that's how the whole voiceover thing started. And like I said at the panel, I think I booked my first job. It was a Showtime promo, and it was in an English accent, British accent, which was great. And then, I have a bunch more auditions, and I didn't book anything. And then I booked some, and then I had callbacks for some and was on hold for some. And then, you book, you don't book. It's just one of those things. So you keep going. And I've worked in all areas. I still pursue on camera, and I'll audition for theater, when those opportunities come. I have a few like The Hostess is released. It's available on Audible and Apple Books, and that's a sci-fi novelette, and it's edgy, and I really like it, and I'm glad that I got picked for that because I think it showcases my voice very well, and I really like the story. It's edgy and it's interesting. Um, I think Kat Oyster is really talented as a writer. And then, I have some other projects that are coming up that I've been working on, all NDA. So it's just getting to work as an actor. I mean, I don't really, all of it's fun, you know? So it's just
Yeah.
getting those opportunities.
I was just saying to you how I actually just finished what was kind of technically my second audiobook.
Hmm.
But I did book one, like it was around actually on Halloween, believe it or not. So I finished recording that, and it only took me like a few days because, especially when you're doing audiobooks and they want you to just pretty much record it all from like top to bottom and then have to take care of the editing, which, I mean, I always say that, look, I love reading these stories, but if I have to edit it, and my brain is just kind of going in a different million directions of like, ugh, this doesn't sound, I gotta re-record. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that. So this particular audiobook, this was my first audiobook that I ever did, but Kat directed and edited. So I got lucky in that sense. So when she offered me the role, I asked her, I said, do I have to edit or are you editing? And she said, no, I'm editing. And I was like, yes. And then I said, "Are you going to direct me live or do you want me to self direct?" She said, "No, I'm going to direct you live." So we jumped on, I used my booth and we jumped on Source Connect and she directed me. So that's how I got lucky because I don't know that I think it's extremely difficult if you have to be the editor, the director, and the actor. It's just, that's a lot of it's doable. And I'm sure you did a great job and people do a great
Yeah.
job all the time. But I think it's a lot of work to put on all those three hats
Mm,
kind of at the
yeah.
same time because if you do the whole thing top to bottom and then you got to go back through all this and edit, I feel like you'd want to edit as you go as much as possible or else you're going to just be overwhelmed. But I don't know, I didn't have to work that way and I'm grateful for that.
Or if you're the madman that actually prefers self-directing, kudos to you because I know so many people that do that. They edit, they act, they self-direct, and I'm just like, okay, I give my hats off to you. Um, I mean, look, I even do the same thing whenever, but like, luckily though, the audiobooks that I've done aren't even like super duper long. I think it's only like about 15, 20 minutes worth of reading material, which
Oh,
still,
wow.
it's,
Yeah, this was an
yeah,
hour and 37 minutes, and that's still short because it was a
yeah.
novella. And I think if you're doing a full-length book,
A full-length
it's even,
novel, I'm like, oof,
yeah.
man, yeah. I mean, I've got another one coming up that is like, I have to read like 20. Ah, there's the phone. Yeah, see there, all the voiceover distractions. But anyways, I have one that's coming up that's about like 26-ish pages. So yeah,
Pages.
yeah, like
Okay.
pages. So it's probably rounds up at like about an hour. But yeah, if you're
Yeah.
gonna do like an hour or so long, I mean, there's some that go on for like over 5 or 6, and I'm just like, hey, like,
Yeah, and some
I
people they do it all
appreciate.
they do it and it's great. I think for me, I prefer to, and I've self-directed on some things, not
Yeah,
audiobook, but like narrations or and then but I think for audiobook because just reading all these different characters, it can be done, but I feel that the rate has to include
yeah,
all the
and
jobs you're doing, and I don't
exactly.
know that. Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing. You
No,
know,
yeah, but I mean, I totally get you because the rates and negotiating is something that a lot. I feel like we really should discuss more because I feel like that's one of the stuff that is like, okay, so for this amount, this hour of material that I'm putting out there, are there going to be compensations? So you gotta really discuss, really look into this stuff, and
yeah,
also
like
make sure that it is. Yeah, oh,
I
sorry.
don't know that accepting the standard rate if you're doing the editing, the acting, and the
Exactly.
self-direction
Yeah.
is, I think, as a performer, we need to advocate for ourselves
Advocating. Yeah.
and really, I got she paid above that because she even said as a producer she was like that rate's really low and I said agreed, so we negotiated something and I think that every actor should try to
Yeah.
negotiate something,
Just
you
never,
know, and
ever
you have to
undersell
decide if you're going to
yourself.
walk away or
Yeah.
or not. I mean, because yeah, I agree. Like it's a
Yeah.
lot of work to do all three jobs,
Exactly.
and you should be
And
paid for all three jobs.
don't undersell yourself.
Right.
That's pretty much the bottom line. And gotta make sure that the project is legit. Otherwise, and I know it's been talked about a lot on here, and I apologize for bringing it up again. Make sure that you're not getting your voice cloned for, that those two dreaded letters.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, and there's some friend of mine is working with some watermarks and he just tested my voice and a couple other voices and the watermark stayed even when he put the even when he with permission he put my voice and had it do a monologue, a Shakespearean monologue, and the watermark stayed. So those and this technology will be protecting every actor, regardless of your union status, and every human. It's being worked on. So we will be protected, regardless if our
Yeah.
government or our unions want to protect us. We will be protected. So it's
Oh
coming.
yeah, for
It's coming.
sure.
It's coming.
Yeah, and I'm just going once again. God bless Nava. Just the work that they
Yeah.
do. It really cannot be understated. Like they are really like some of the unsung heroes that they deserve a lot more credit than we give them for. Same
Well,
with
I
our
mean,
audio
people are
engineers. Yeah.
no, we raise, the gala, part of the gala is raising money, and money was raised, and they have some good support, and they're very upfront with everything that they earn is to support the mission, and they're pretty transparent in their mission, and we've seen the results, and yeah, you should explore it. It's nava.org, or navavoices.org, I think, and see all the benefits. It's people are aware, and the people that show up to the gala are it's pretty amazing who shows up. So a lot of the casting community, the directors, the writers, the agents in the voiceover world, and the talent. I mean, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of support for Nava, definitely.
And it kind of goes into a different topic that I want to talk about, where it's like when you work in the industry, because I know you came from theater, you came from
Hmm.
that world. I kind of came from like improv and just shamelessly binging a lot of different which of course it is important, but you also gotta, and this is something that I kind of sort of knew from early on, is experiencing life and just really taking cues from, like, whether it's from people or just who you know, and just really apply it into, I mean, I could just go out for a walk and then something, I don't know what it is, or if I just go outside or just touch grass, which actually does help.
It
You
does.
could kind of apply it into whatever art that you're doing, whether it's
Totally
acting,
agree. I totally
writing.
agree. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned grass, which nature just I feel like two things you mentioned, being around people, enjoying life, living life, going to things, being out in nature, appreciating trees, grass, birds, animals. I think it feeds us on such a high
Yeah.
level. And I feel like for me, it brings peace and it brings inspiration, like little moments of if you're, I'm sure sometimes you've been working on a project, whether it's writing or voice acting or your improv, and like these little moments that maybe you had last week pop in and you're able to use it in your work, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And just to go, just a big example, because I know Avatar, not The Last Airbender, because oh, yeah, here's a poster right here, but the other Avatar by James Cameron. And I was just thinking about him today because literally the idea of how he came up with like, say, the Terminator, for instance, it was literally based on a nightmare that he had. And lo and behold, that's how we got the Terminator. Or just when you listen to all these people, where they got all these inspirations from, like it could be from a dream, it could be from just observing nature or convention, or it just
Yeah.
it's everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you
You
could
don't
just
know
find,
where you're going to get
yeah,
it.
you don't know where you're gonna get it. Yeah,
And I think, and I do feel, just like to ground yourself because the world is wild, like to ground yourself as a human
yeah,
that can, kind of be in a state of peace and love and good energy despite everything that's going on in the world. Like lying on the grass or sitting out in nature, or hiking or going to the beach, whatever you want to do. But I think nature is a really great tool to spend some time with, to just kind of give you something more than what's happening with a lot of the other stuff politically and in other countries and here. I think it's really important for us, and the
yeah.
inspiration you can get for creativity is amazing. And the brilliant creative geniuses, they all say, great ideas very rarely come from they come when you're relaxed. They come when you're the inspiration comes from when you're relaxed, not from when you're like fighting for it or looking for it. So
Yeah, for sure. And I know you said that you were just so fascinated with just the human, just the
behavior.
psychology you meant, the
Yeah.
human behavior. Yeah. I think that's also something that I was always been fascinated in. I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is. Whenever you see somebody in real life or just somebody on TV, you just start thinking, okay, so what is their story? Like, where do they kind of come and stuff? So I don't know. I've just been watching. This is gonna sound really silly, but like, part of the like how I learned so much about like entrepreneur or just learning how they got to where they are, just watching a lot of Shark Tank episodes.
Oh yeah.
It makes me learn so much, which I mean, I don't really watch a lot too much TV because of time, like I said, but
Right, of course.
Shark Tank is just one of those. Okay, so if you want to be an entrepreneur in business, whether it's acting or just everything that you're doing, I think you could kind of learn something. Like, even though you might learn something that is like, okay, that's actually a really brilliant strategy. This one isn't really too great, but I think there's something that they got something there, whether it's good or bad. Like, the fact that they're going up and presenting their pitches is honestly something to admire. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't watch the show, but I can totally see, I think any opportunity to watch someone pitch an idea, whether it
They
was
call
a
it like an elevator
successful,
pitch. Yeah.
yeah, whether it's successful or not successful, you're gonna learn so much. Whether, no, I don't want to do that, or yeah, I want to do that. I remember my dad would always tell me, if you want to interview with someone, try to interview with two people before them that aren't the important, that aren't the two, that aren't a goal for you, so you can practice. So I think it's the same thing. I think for sure listening to anyone's pitch is going to help us. Yeah, definitely.
And in the industry, because I know we talk about pitches you know, and always just being yourself is another
Yeah,
key aspect.
authenticity.
So for you, because you came from theater and going into VO, what was something that really stood out to you, like a big lesson that you kind of would say that really helped you a lot when it comes to navigating voiceover and just really knowing a lot of the people, like the agents, friend, just pretty much a lot of the people you mentioned before.
Yeah, so well,
Yeah,
I
I
think
know it's a
there's
lot.
two-part question. So
Yeah.
as far as theater and voiceover, I mean, I definitely feel theater, you know, as well as improv, because theater's your whole, I mean, everything's your whole body. It's just the camera doesn't capture your whole body and the
Yeah,
microphone
something
doesn't
you took
capture your
from
whole body.
theater and improv
But
and
in
you still
theater,
use
the
that.
audience is
Yeah.
going to see your whole body, right? So for voiceover specifically with the acting perspective, on film, in voiceover, it's great to talk with my hands and to do this and to do that, if I need to get that because they're only picking up my voice. In theater, depending on the role, but in film, I can't sit here on camera and, work with my hands so much. So I do feel that the benefit of being trained as a theater actor, I work with my whole body, and then for film or TV, I just have to learn to quiet the body down so it's not distracting. So I think it does. Theater is a vital. It brings the live vital, like the live wire, which I think has helped me, and I'm sure in improv too, because I have an improv background as well. As far as like business and agents, I feel that just over the years that what's helped me is because as actors, when we meet people, they're like, oh, what have I seen you in? Or, oh, are you famous? Or, oh, I don't know you. Or, so it kind of can make us feel like, oh, we're not actors. But look, we audition. Unfortunately, we're not paid to audition. We're acting every day, okay? And people don't understand our what we do every day as actors. We are actors, okay? We act every day between auditions, between live shows, between recorded shows, classes, everything. So I have decided that I'm not going to allow someone else to be like, "Oh, what have I seen you in?" to make me feel less than because I'm not like some celebrity famous. That it's up to me to be like, "Hi, I'm Susan Spano. How are you? This is me. Tell me about yourself." Just to have that confidence of going up and introducing yourself and bringing that energy to someone, and it's up to that person if they want to receive it or if they want to snub it off or if they are too busy for you. That's their. But for me, I think what's really helped me is I'm a pretty authentic person. So showing up and being available and saying hello. But it's also, I want people to feel welcome in my space because I'm very inclusive. Like, I just want, I've been out, I've been an outcast before, I've been, ooh, she's not part of our group. I don't like that feeling, and I don't ever want to give somebody that feeling. So that's just what I've been working with, and I feel it's been very beneficial. Like, I try to bring the warmth to people and introduce myself, and then hopefully they want to share something about themselves with me. That's how I have been navigating. I didn't always navigate that way, but that's how I'm navigating now, and I really feel the benefits of that. And I like the people that have come into my world because I've done that. So, does that
And it's so
answer?
it did because I
Okay.
was also gonna say too, it's so funny how when you actually work in the voiceover business, because for many of I mean, I can't really speak for everyone, but it's like when you get into any profession, it's because you see somebody that you watch on whether it's from a TV show or a movie or just a lot of different shows that you grew up with, and then you're actually getting to work with a lot of these people that
Hmm.
really kind of paved the way. And it's also another thing too about being authentic and true to yourself, because you're definitely somebody that is like, wow, you're really passionate about the same thing that they are, and they've been at this for many, 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 many years. And it turns out that you guys, I mean, I won't say that you'll, I mean, like everybody's kind of different. Like it's not a guarantee that you'll gel with everyone, but
Right, of course
with
not.
the grand majority, it's like, look, I really appreciate all that you do, and or sometimes it can kind of be the case. It's like, no, I'm actually a fan of you, and it's like, what? It's
Yeah, and
really
not
close.
everyone's, you're not going to be best friends with everyone, and I don't think it's
Exactly.
about that.
Yeah.
I think it's more about just trying to connect without trying, or maybe not trying is not the right, being open to connect.
Being open, yeah,
Yeah, because you don't
and
want to
just
try.
striving
Yeah, yeah,
to make it better. Just industry,
right.
or just making the work, or just making a lot of
Yeah,
stuff that
like
could.
being kind and, connecting and just being open to that. It makes such a difference to people because, you just the other night I was invited somewhere and people were great, but then there was someone that I had met and, I kind of introduced and their energy was kind of weird and it probably had nothing to do with me. It was probably just them, but it was different than maybe if I had seen you and your energy was like, oh, hey, it's just, but he was being authentic in his own space. But it's just interesting. I think it's just important for us to understand that we can shift our energy. We can play with it. We can be like,
Yeah,
yeah, sure, I'm not in a great mood today, but let me try to show up because it's not just me, it's everyone that's going to be in my space. So let me
yeah,
try to lift my vibration so I can give a little bit more. It doesn't always work. I mean, life is tough, sometimes. But it's just saying, hey, can I be in a better space so I can just add some more light to this room? Is just something nice to ask yourself, I think, in
I
today's
know.
day and
Yeah,
age. Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I mean, like we're talking on Zoom,
yeah.
just one on one, but it's gonna be different from like say, like using the LA Comic Con story for example, because we were just surrounded by
Everything.
every.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So,
yeah, it was wild. It's intense, and it's like all these different energies. Yeah.
yeah, so a lot of people. Let's just say that it was a lot of people. So it's not like we're just talking on Zoom, like virtually. Whereas if we're in person, and then we're just being surrounded by thousands, if not millions, of people in the same building, it's gonna be
And
a different
robots
experience.
and little robots going around and like demos, like the little like yeah, the booths and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's a
oh,
lot
the
going
booths
on.
are lovely.
Shows. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, also another shout out to VO Dojo, just Tish and
Oh
all of you
yeah.
guys. Yeah, great. Another great. We're just naming a lot of great resources, but they're also another great one. If you want to learn more about the VO, learning the ropes, and they do have Q&As that they do with industry vets for free. So you could just join in, ask a question, and they'll just share their nuggets of wisdom. or just
Yeah, and
watch this podcast.
classes. Yeah, and she offers classes too. Yeah.
I
So,
know they do. Yeah, so they're also really great. But yeah, I mean, just yeah, no, seriously. Like, if you go to it, and it's also like, I know I'm going back to the convention talk, but if you go to these, I mean, sometimes these events are also like really great if you want to. I mean, you can also have a lot of fun there. Like, I'm totally not knocking against like going there to, have a good time because everybody should.
yeah.
And it's also like you get to see so many cool displays, cosplays, and all that stuff. But getting to really make meaningful connections is also something that's super highly vital. I mean, if I never went to Comic Con, I don't think we wouldn't really cross paths, or just I wouldn't have crossed paths with
No,
a lot of different people that I met that
we
weekend.
wouldn't have met. And then I met several other people that I wouldn't have met.
Exactly.
And and I followed up after, which is key. And then the people that you know right away who you're
Yeah.
going to see again in your future because it's
Oh
a
yeah.
mutual follow up. And I think that's one of the benefits of the Comic Con. And yeah, it's interesting. And I have to Jeff, I thank Jeff Burns for that because we because I get overwhelmed very quickly with all of that. But
Yeah.
Friday we walked around and Jeff knows everybody and it was just kind of like a focal point because we were walking around checking everything out together and that was a good grounding for myself or else I might have been all over the place and
Just
overwhelmed
going
like
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of stimuli. I'm very sensitive to stimuli, so I could easily be like,
Yeah.
ah. But yeah, he's great for that. He was great. He's a good friend. I really appreciate him. And he won the award at Nava, the Brad Venerable
Yes.
Award.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah.
And a lot of us were extremely happy for that because yeah, he's such a great source in this business and
Yeah.
he's good. Yeah.
And I'm just glad that, Jeff is still here with us after
Yeah.
what he went through last year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to say thank you, Jeff, always. Just our talks are just always very kind. Just the dude, whenever you talk with him, he just is so incredibly just giving and just
Yeah.
really is always there to look out for somebody, even if they're just having like the crappiest day. Let's just be real,
Yeah, and he has like a wealth of knowledge too.
Exactly, too.
And
Yeah,
he's totally
it's
willing to,
crazy.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
But
So
going
well
back to
deserved. Yeah.
yeah, but going back to what you were saying about being in like, these places and just needing somebody to just show the ropes. That's why when I do these events, I'm just always with somebody. Like I never go by myself. I
Hmm.
mean, I would, but it's like I kind of want somebody to be with me just in case of something, I don't know.
Well, you just want to, yeah, you want to be able to, yeah, you want to share the experience with
Just have
someone. And
company. Exactly.
yes, exactly. I totally agree.
Because anything, yeah, especially these days, you never know.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean,
not to put this,
I think they're safe, but I just feel like you just want someone, oh,
but
you want someone to
just in
be a
case,
companion. Yeah,
yeah.
just, oh, check that out, check that for sure.
Because I don't want to end up be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah,
Well, and I mean, the thing is there a wrong place at the wrong time? But nothing, I don't think anything bad would happen. It's
exactly.
just more fun and it's grounding because I think most people probably get overstimulated.
Oh yeah.
And then you can kind of bounce it off. And you
Yeah.
meet more people because I know people that you don't know and you know people that I don't know. And then,
Oh yeah.
so I hear you on that.
It's really great that there's a lot of families that went there, like a lot of kids, elder. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was really safe and pretty well organized and very family friendly. And
for sure.
yeah, I had a
Yeah,
good time there. I really did. That was
me
my first
too.
time going to LA Comic Con.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Yeah,
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 well, I'm glad it was great for your first time, because I've been going
yeah,
for a while.
yeah, yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
was out of the loop.
So we'll continue this in the next part because 40 minutes soon. Whoop-de-doo. So we'll close
Right.
this off in the finale. But yeah, hope everybody enjoys our little banter so far and see y'all in the next part. So yeah, see you in a
Awesome.
bit.
Thank
Alrighty, yeah. Just real quick, you did bring up about Jeff having the Brad Venable Award, you said?
you. Right. Yeah, he won that at Nava.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I don't think I've actually shared this with anybody because this just unlocked a memory of mine. So I never met Brad personally, but I did an interview with somebody who was really close to Brad. I don't remember who it was. I'm so sorry, but they were just sharing a story about like, and it also definitely brings home the point of just being your authentic self and just always knowing to help somebody, even if they're just having like the crummiest, like the worst day. And Brad was definitely one of those people. So they were sharing the story about how when they were first moving to LA, like they were just terrified and they don't know where to go. And Brad was able to just help them out, just, get familiar with the community and just, yeah, just really helping them be put at ease. And this is what Jeff does for a lot of us. And yeah, it just really, it goes to show you that there's a lot of people, like, aside from some, iffy, sketchy
Right. Well, there's
characters, like,
always going to be
yeah, there's always going to be
bad
everywhere, but
eggs.
yeah, but there's always going to be the people that are just going to be like, hey, I can, I can help you out here. Like, I know that LA can be pretty tough and brutal, so let me
Hmm.
show you around. This is da 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 da, and yeah, just really just help you just ease, calm the nerves. Like, I know it's still going to be pretty tough. I mean, it still is, but
Yeah.
at least with people like yourself or just anybody that I've interviewed previously, like just helping just make life and just living in LA, just living anywhere, just whether wherever you're at in outside of acting, like any job or industry you're in, just helping make everything just, you know, a little bit more bearable, just so much easier to just
Yeah,
make.
just friendly support, I
Yeah,
think,
just friendly
helps
support because we all
people.
definitely need those.
Yeah, and
I've
and
always
I
seen
think
them.
people should feel, you know, asking for some assistance or help. There's nothing wrong with
Mhm.
that. Also, people, it's okay to ask, and you know, then
Yeah,
people know, and you'll find out soon enough who can help you and who can't, and who
yeah,
will, and it's super, yeah, it's like human kindness, right?
exactly. So I guess with you as an LA native, because I know it's kind of going to be different for everyone, how would you say that living here or just being in LA has really helped you just learn so much about voiceover, especially with a lot of the most of the stuff that we be recording are based in California, like here in
Hmm.
LA. So how would you say that it has really helped you just a lot,
Well, I come from the
just
East
knowing the
Coast, so
community?
I started in
Yeah.
New York, and that was a whole different thing.
Oh yeah, New York is
Yeah,
also really
but
huge.
being out
Yeah.
here, and plus things have changed so much now with
Yeah.
you have to have your own studio, really. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a
I mean,
crazy studio, right? I mean, you just have to have
yeah.
something to work in. Um, but I mean, honestly, you do have to get out and meet people. People have to
Yeah.
know what you can do. And I will say, I've done quite a bit of work in the last couple of years. I haven't always had the time to create clips and put them on Instagram, and I finally have started to do that. Um, it takes a minute because you're juggling everything, and
Yeah. Just
that's been helpful
updating,
too
man.
because then people in casting can just press play. So I think that's
Hmm.
really beneficial. I think one way to meet people is in person, or setting up meetings via Zoom, events, and then putting your work out there so people can press play and hear you for 15 seconds is good. I think also, though, this is for anywhere, but I feel it's super important who you spend your time with because
Oh, yeah.
depending on the type of person you are,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
you want to, I mean, for me, like I like to connect with people and I like authentic relationships, and I love art and I love nature, and I need nourishing relationships, you know,
Yeah.
and friends. And I have a whole nother life outside of acting. Acting is important, but that's not I have a very full life outside of acting,
Yeah.
which and most of my friends are not actors, just because I need like that well-rounded, you
Yeah.
know,
Having friends just
yeah.
outside of.
Yeah, and having dinner with friends at someone's house and cooking and just,
Mhm.
going to the beach or, going to see some art and going to concerts and things like that goes back to just that life that you do, that you have. But I also feel like with agents and stuff, I know for a long time I was hesitant to always kind of express what I need from an agent, but you got to kind of communicate with your agents what you're looking for, and if they can achieve that for you, and if they can't, then you got to move on because everyone works differently, and I think they get 10%, so you got to do the 90%, but a lot of times, they're the ones that are in the know of what's going on, so that communication has to be there. So find,
Yeah.
you want to work with agents that are willing to communicate and that aren't going to just brush you off and not take time, because if they're not going to take time with you, then you should probably, actors should just move on.
Oh
I don't know if
yeah.
that answers your question,
It,
but
it does because I
yeah.
feel like this is another topic that I feel gets really under discussed. Knowing when
Yeah.
to, yeah, and I know this is kind of like might be hard for some of us because we're kind of grown really close and accustomed to our agents. But if there's going to be a time where if something isn't really exactly like if it's not really like flowing super well, and if there's kind of some sort of friction going on, then probably might be a good time to like say, hey, I don't think this is really going to work out in the long term.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
not even just friction, but if you want to work in
And
animation
if it
and your
doesn't
agent.
see, yeah,
And like if you
yeah,
want to work in animation, your agent's not giving you those opportunities to audition, then
yeah,
that's a serious conversation. Or if you want to work in promo or narration and your agent doesn't get those auditions, then you need to say, "Hey, so do you mind if I stay with you for this territory and then maybe I go in another
yeah,
territory and find." It's like we're emotional
that
actors
too.
and everything's personal, but we have to realize like this is business, and you need
Mm-hmm.
what you need. They need to be honest with what they're capable of doing, and what relationships do they have, what relationships are they willing to put you forth in front of. And so it's you know that's the thing. It's yeah,
Yeah,
having that confidence as an actor to communicate, and then they need to have they need to communicate back. It can't just be a one-sided
yeah.
situation. Yeah.
You just got to know your worth.
Yes. And that goes back to like when we were talking about audiobooks,
The
I don't
audio,
know.
yeah. Going back to that.
Do I want to do $225 per finished hour? No. Like that's not really a fair rate if you're doing everything that you were doing. But that's up to you. But yeah, know your worth, and what we do every day that gets us to be able to deliver what we deliver on the day we're hired. No one's, are they looking at that? We work every single day at our craft. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's just pretty much what it all comes down to at the end of the day. Because there's definitely just you got to look out for the scams, y'all, and you just got to look
oh,
out. Just yeah, yeah. Okay, so and since I brought that up, I got to bring up another story. So I did do one. It wasn't really an audiobook, but it was more like a history type of thing. And
hmm,
right when I finished it, 100 pages worth of material.
wow.
That's when I actually found out because I signed a contract and everything, but the way that they were trying to handle the payment seemed pretty sketchy. And it's like I started picking up little signs, but I was like, I just wanted to work.
Right.
So I didn't really think anything was really fishy when I was doing it, but then afterwards, then that's when we got to the payment aspect, and that's when I was like, okay, no, no,
Did they pay
yeah.
you?
It's super weird because they have a bank that I never even heard of, which already I'm
Oh,
just
it's
like,
probably a
uh-oh.
scam. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those, yeah. So that's when I found out, well,
So,
it was good while it lasted.
yeah. So, obviously if it's going through your agent, then, it's probably scam proof. But if it's a direct offer or something, I always, because one time someone reached out to me and
Oh
they were like,
boy.
yeah, we need you to come into our studio in person. And I don't know if it was Atlanta. It was in a state. And I was like, this is weird. And then I was talking to someone who owns a voiceover studio, and they're like, there's no reason they need you to come in person. That doesn't make any sense. So it's probably a scam. So just go back to them and say, oh, you have a studio you can record in that can patch you in. And I did that and found, obviously, they didn't get back. But as far as direct offers, I always, when someone's interested in booking me on something, I always ask what their budget is, what their dead when they need this done. I ask them to send me a script. And then I communicate how they plan to pay me, and I let them know I need to be paid as soon as the project is delivered. So those are upfront, and based on their reactions to that, gives me a lot of information. So if they send me a 3-page script, then I tell them I ask for their budget, and then I decide what I can do within their budget and based on what they send me. And I tell them what I can do it for. I ask them when they want it back by, and then I say, I'll give you 1 or 2 pickups included in the rate. After that, there'll be a pickup fee. And I let them know I will send you an invoice after the day I deliver it, and I expect to be paid within 48 hours. And I've never had a problem. But I'm like super upfront and direct, but polite. And I feel like that's how and then if you start getting weird banks that you don't know, or weird, oh, hem haws, then you kind of know, because
That's what
it
happened to
is what
me.
it is, like you either are gonna pay me or you're not. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, because like I mean, in hindsight, I probably should have asked, okay, like, is it going to be through PayPal or Venmo? And they were like, okay, okay, so cool. But then they started talking about a bank like after I finished it, and
That's
that's when
scam.
I was like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
So you just ask them up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's been
But
a
this was
lot of
before
scams.
yeah. But I
Everybody.
mean, now I know when to know the red flags.
Oh,
But
yeah. I
at the
mean,
time,
listen, I mean,
yeah.
I've made so many mistakes when I started. And you don't know, I mean, you're right. You're smart to like that we're talking about these things, because so many things people don't like to talk about. But if nobody talks about it, then nobody
I mean,
knows. And if
that's
everybody's
why
scared to ask the question,
that's why I'm doing this.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean,
I mean, yeah, trust me. Yeah, that should probably be an episode in of itself. Like the many mistakes we've made as actors. I mean, to be
yeah,
fair, there's already different.
or maybe just how to make less mistakes.
How
Start
not
from
to
the
screw
positive.
yourself over.
Yeah,
Just,
how to exactly.
oh
I
man.
think just advocating for ourselves, and like you said, knowing your self-worth starts to really lead you in a better direction. We all want to
Yeah.
work, but and everybody knows there's 10 jobs for 2,000 actors. So people bank on that. They're like, "Oh, well they need us more than we need them." But it's our mental ability that switches that. So,
Yeah.
you know,
There's a lot of exploitative opportunities out there,
yeah,
unfortunately.
like being excited to work versus being desperate to work. So if you want to offer me a job, and if it's fair and you're offering me a fair rate, then I'd love to work the job. If you want to offer me a rate that's horrible and not fair, and I don't want your job. And I just, yeah, so, you know.
Yeah.
And then of course you do when you're starting out, I think it's important to accept jobs just to get experience. I think you should pick, I think actors should pick what those are. But for sure, you don't want to give your talent away for free, but sometimes you can say, I want experience in this, so maybe I'll do this one time, but then cap it at one time. So,
Yeah. And it is true, like I forget how the saying goes, but it's like we have to learn some really hard like we have to learn the hard way in order for us to really get like, just at least somewhat more knowledgeable about what we get ourselves into.
yeah, I mean,
In a
unfortunately,
way, like take it
well,
with a grain of salt. Yeah.
well, here's the thing. There's no rules to this business, and there's no everybody makes it or doesn't make it in a different way. So and everybody in all the areas are just kind of seeing what's going to work. So unfortunately, I don't think, and in acting schools, we learn how to act. We don't necessarily learn how to pursue the business. And agents don't have time to school you on everything. They're trying to pay their bills too. So, they only get a commission, and casting directors are bidding for their job. Producers are, everyone's busy, and everyone's just trying to make something happen, and everyone's just trying to get their
Yeah.
job done. So it's just a lot of self-learning, and
Yeah.
unfortunately we all make a lot of mistakes before we get on the right
Yeah.
path. But there are a lot of books out there that are really good, that if people read
Yeah.
them, they can
Yeah.
avoid some of them. But and things have changed, like mailing postcards and stuff is no longer really a thing because of
Oh my
COVID.
God. Wow.
So,
Yeah. Or just recording ensemble is starting to become like. I mean, there's some projects that are kind of doing it, but for the most part, it's just kind of remotely because, yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
especially
don't,
with
I've
this.
been going into studio for my work, which is great, to record, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, I just
But
like, yeah, working with, collaborating with others.
yeah,
Because sometimes it
yeah,
can be pretty lonely if you're doing a lot of things. I mean, when you do the most of the time, like most of the job is doing auditions or just getting into your
right.
booth and just spending hours at a time,
Yeah, the job is
just working.
auditioning.
Exactly. And oh yeah, this kind of brings to mind this quote, and this also kind of might be like a take it or leave it type of thing, where it goes along it is somewhere along the lines of failure is your best teacher, and that's where I'm just sort of like, okay, you can kind of interpret it in a bunch of different ways, but you know what, each person is wired differently. Like, where I'm not somebody that is like, oh, well, this is gonna work for you and you. Like, we all come from different paths and ex- different backgrounds in acting. Like, you came from theater. I mostly come from like improv, and
Hmm.
so it's gonna be different for everybody. So, and that's why when you do workshops, it's really important that you take away what really worked for you from this coach, and but there might be somebody else that can be like, they might teach something else that might stick with you. So
Right.
take it at as you will, and also just apply use some of your own, just add your own
Yeah.
flavor to it. Like, learn from
Yeah,
the
like
best and
trust
also add your
yourself.
own stuff. Yeah, just
Yeah, and I
trusting.
definitely feel that different teachers work well with different people because of that.
Yeah.
Like because we all have our instruments, like we're very refined instruments, and different things that work for you are going to be different for me, and finding your teacher,
Yeah.
but then also trusting yourself that you can take little bits from all 20 teachers
Take
you've
little
worked
bits
with,
and just,
and do
yeah.
your thing that works for you, and trust your way of doing it, I think is important. And
Yeah.
and you have to know that it's not always about talent. I mean, the best person usually doesn't always get the job. There's so many other things that factor in. That's why, you know, people need to know who you are, and they need to see your work as much as possible. And then the catch 22 is you have to get work in order for it to be seen and heard. So that's our conundrum, but that's the goal, be seen and heard, be friendly, be nice, let people know you exist and you're available.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we can do, really. And
Yeah.
create content when you can, but that's its own thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. And since we're going into closing, what would you say were some of the projects or role or just anything that you've done in your like in the industry? Like, would you say was something that really kind of I don't want to say what was your favorite because that's kind of a go-to
Yeah.
one, but what would you say was something that kind of really challenged you creatively and really pushed you out of your comfort zone to hone in your chops more and more?
Um, well, I feel that, as far as voiceover, just the different, with when I voiced Doctor Strange, the Supreme Sorcerer, I played Dr. Gina Atwater. It was this voice,
Hmm.
but with emotion and strength and whatever. So that wasn't really a character per se. But then when
It
I
was kind
did,
of you, yeah.
yeah, and then when I did, and that was fun. I mean, that was a lead, and that was a great experience, and that was my first animated So that had its own thing, but it went well.
Congrats.
But thank you. But then when I so and then I did a little small part in the feature film, the animated feature film Arctic Dogs, but I was cast off my demo and
Oh,
it was all
interesting.
stars. Like, I mean, it was Alec
Wait.
Baldwin, Heidi Klum, I mean, John Cleese, I mean, all these
Oh,
stars.
wait. I think
So
I'm that
yeah, and I
now it's
just had
coming
a
to me.
small
Yeah.
part, but I was like, oh my God, I need to go in with with some ideas. So I definitely worked, and I just got my sides. I didn't get the whole script. Um, I did something that would be suitable, and then I just found a bunch improv. I just found a bunch of different
Hmm.
things improv to kind of put in my toolbox. So then when I went in, the director sat down with me, Aaron Woodley, and we talked. And I said, I'm gonna, I have what's on the page, and then I am prepared to do that, and then I have some other ideas if you're willing. So, and he said, of course. So we did it, the work, and he read with me. He's like, oh, I'll read with you if you want. I said, sure. So we did it. He said, okay, I got that. I got what we need. Now let's go into some of your improv, and some of it was accents, some of it was improv. So we had a whole thing, and then he told me when we were done, he was like, you were just as good as all the stars. So I needed to know because I was booked off my demo. So I didn't, but then when I did this podcast it was called In the Ring with Daisy King, and it was based on the Rumble movie, and I played Lady Mayhem, Southern character. She's like a head of the underground wrestling world. Like to find her so she's not caricature, but she's also comedic, and she's talking with, she's a little bit over the top, and I did that in my booth, but with direct live direction. And that was fun, but I definitely remember prepping that and just having some ideas in the bag. So I think everything, and then with dubbing, I do a lot of live action dubbing, and I played a lot of leads. One of those, oh my God, I was like in a cell and torturous. I mean, that was like crazy intense. That was like serious drama. But even with the dubbing, the live action dubbing, you really have to your acting skills show up for you because you don't get those scripts ever. You show up, they play it back for you. I don't listen to it in my headphones because that just distracts me. And you got to get that emotion so you can deliver what you see on screen and make it match. But that's really where my acting skills have really shown up because you are really like and it trains you. And then when you start working with drama and comedy, it gets those skills because you're basically on your feet. So that's been really fun. So it's all fun, and I think it all shows unique. I think it's all unique challenges. And video games, like I just did a part. I worked on Avowed. I didn't. I did get the script a couple days ahead, and that was just a bunch of different roles, and different accents. With Courtney Taylor, and I've worked with her. She's directed me a couple of times, and that was fun. So it's all. I think every job presents its own unique challenges. Um, you, just depending on everything, and then you want to feel confident. I always do yoga and a vocal prep before every job because I need to feel grounded and like I'm prepared to rise to the occasion. And then trust trust the work and my craft because I have craft. I mean, I've been a working actor and a trained actor for God knows how long. So trust that you'll show up and be excited
Yeah. And
and take
I'm
direction.
yeah. I mean, that goes without saying. I was about to mention that, but I mean, and part of the fun about being in this business and just the artistry because it can be both the business and also you're just creating art just in a booth and just making all these characters come to life. I mean, there's so many times where I have gotten cast just basically because somebody listened to a demo and then they tell me, okay, so he's this and this, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, and also it's kind of like my preference where I do something that they'll what they're asking for, but then I'm just like, okay, maybe I could probably do something that But definitely don't get too off script. Don't just completely rewrite it or anything. That's the
Oh, no, 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 no,
yeah.
no, no, no. I don't.
I just do want that it's like, okay, something that kind of makes me laugh, or just anything that is like, let me just try something that might be a little kind of kooky, but still keeping the integrity of the character. And most of the
Yeah.
time they keep that one. So
Yeah. And you don't
yeah,
always have to
improv.
like change the word. I don't, I try not to change the words.
Yeah, me neither.
You just may add a laugh or you may add a sound
Yeah,
or the way that you deliver it. Because you can say the same line like 20 different ways, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just really comes down to like how you interpret or what you can bring to the table.
Right. And then knowing, and then like how you interpret it, how the script does, and then maybe picking something that's totally different, you know, which I think letting the producer or director know that you can think about it other ways and that you're
Yeah,
malleable.
thinking outside the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah. Yeah. That you're flexible.
Yeah,
For
because
sure.
you can learn from Bob Bergen, you can learn from Lori Allen and Charlie Adler and so Richard
Yeah.
Horth and all these people. They have different. They each come from different, training styles and using some of it. So that's pretty much what I'm talking about when it comes to learning from all of these people. Like you can learn something from a panel, or you can learn from a workshop that you take
Hmm.
from a class, and you probably might learn something that you're just thinking to yourself, okay, so yeah, maybe I could probably try this. Maybe this can work out. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean,
Right.
that's totally fine. Because each of us are learning every single day. We're just like cogs in a machine, and we're not perfect, but we're getting by every day.
Yeah.
And
Doing
that
the
just
best
goes
we
in like
can.
very
Yeah.
doing the best we can.
Yeah.
So, what time is it? Tuesday. Okay, yeah, but I'm just really glad that we were able to have this completely just off the cuff conversation, even though it just rambled on to like an hour, which it's fun. We
We're
we
doing
love
the
to talk.
holiday ramble, okay? It's
The holiday
holiday. We
ramble,
have time to
yeah,
ramble because the studios are closed.
yeah. And I mean, like, what are we gonna do? Just work from home?
Yeah. No, this was
But
fun.
yeah, but this was a lot of fun though. I really enjoyed this, and I'm definitely gonna enjoy the rain here finally.
Yeah, it's gonna rain this week. We need it, but bring an umbrella. So,
Yeah, I mean, hey, at least I can say that, like, look, if you're having a Christmas gathering, just make sure it's indoors. So, I
yeah,
mean, I know everybody likes to be outside, but hey, I guess God is like, no, we want everybody to be inside because, yeah,
we
just
need to
being
regulate.
outdoors.
Yeah,
Yeah, we just like the family, the intimacy, I guess.
right.
So, I'm just really looking forward to it because we have not had rain like on Christmas in forever.
Well,
So,
California always needs rain, so even
yeah.
though it may be inconvenient sometimes, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
complain. So,
yeah, I'm not complaining personally. Like I'm just really
yeah,
glad that we're finally getting some cool weather for a change
yeah.
after.
So we have a little Christmassy feeling.
Yeah.
It is cold out. I was out today. It's cold. I had to wear my gloves.
No, yeah, it's finally getting cold now because like for months it's just been, hey, by the way, we're gonna have a heat wave, but no, it's gonna cool
Yeah.
down a bit, but now it's gonna go back up and it's gonna be even more. But I will say last year was, oh my God, just absolutely insane. So, and this
Yeah.
year kind of had its moments, but wasn't it like the coolest summer in a long time?
I don't
Or
even know.
I don't even know.
There was hot summer, cold. It's been crazy.
It's
Climate
just been
change is real.
really just kind of like inconsistent all throughout the year. So, I mean, at least I'm glad that it's finally starting to hit its like consistent
I don't
coolness.
know about that, but we'll
Me
see.
neither. So we shall see. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Any last bit of, I guess, wisdom or anything to close this out?
I think that practicing, and even practicing if you want to do voiceover, if you want to be a voiceover actor, practice in your booth. I think asking for guidance from people. And look, I've asked to chat with people, and a lot of people say no, and a lot of people say yes. So just don't be discouraged. Some people are more willing to share information, and some people are not. But if you don't ask for assistance or guidance on something, you're never going to get the information. So I think that's key. And don't be a jerk. just be nice. Try to be authentic and be honest and real and don't, just be a human being. But yeah, and just watch whatever area you want to work in. If you want to work in commercials, watch commercials. If you want to do dubbing, then watch the dub, you know, the movie animation, same thing. And then I would say you know, just practice
Yeah.
and, and find the way that you work because you may work differently than somebody else. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. And in regards of the different like animation and just the stuff that you mentioned, there's a lot of different networks. There's
Yeah.
ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, and
Yeah.
there's even like a lot of the animation stuff. Like, what's something that's different about a Disney Junior show, Nick Jr., Adult Swim?
Yeah, like if you're
So
auditioning for
knowing them, yeah.
the age, like preschool is going to be a different tone than young adult and
Yeah,
then
and who's
adult.
casting? Yeah,
Yeah.
just know the players essentially.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard. I mean, you can watch something, but sometimes you get it right away. Sometimes it's like, and
Like
that
one
is,
show, yeah. Even if you watch like a new Cartoon Network or a Nickelodeon series, it's gonna be like vastly different. Like say, SpongeBob is gonna be pretty different from say The Loud House or
yeah,
what is it? Adventure Time is gonna be different from Gravity Falls or so on and
yeah,
so forth.
yeah,
So just
yeah.
really knowing
The
just
tone,
the tone and just knowing the vibe of it is pretty much
right,
super important. And also
right.
same with commercials. Like, what is the agency? Is it McDonald's? Is it Pizza Hut?
Well, yeah, and you can always look
Art
up,
Barn? Yeah.
often when I have commercial auditions, I'll look up on iSpot.tv. So I'll look
Bingo.
up the
There you go.
brand, and I'll say, oh,
Yeah,
McDonald's is
what's
going
the
to be
brand?
this. Right. Yeah.
And
What's
what are
their
you
vibe?
yeah, what's the vibe? What is it? Is it kooky? Is it comedic? Is it
Is it
drama?
laid back? Is it
Like
subtle?
back?
And then you do the best you can because unfortunately we're doing self-direction with auditions until we get a call back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always better for us if we get direction, but that's not happening that much anymore. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of a guessing game based on the information that you have access to, and then how you can process that within the amount of time that you have to deliver the audition. So the odds are against us, but that's it. We chose it, so we have to do what we have to do.
Yep. And this is pretty much where the improv, where that training comes in.
Yeah, yeah,
Comes in handy, man.
yeah.
So yeah, plug in your stuff like social media,
Oh
anything
yeah,
you
okay. So
yeah.
I'm mostly on Instagram and I have two handles only because I wanted so Susan Spano Studio is my main handle and then Susan Spano Official is my other handle and I just got that one so no one would try to take it with the fraudsters, speaking of fraudsters. So I post on both. And then everything that I post on Instagram usually goes to Facebook. My email, and then susanspano.com is my website, and a lot of my work is on there. And there's other ways to contact me on there, and that's what I use. I mean, Twitter, Spano, Susan. I don't really. Instagram is my thing when I
I
post. So, and then susanspano.com is my website. Yeah.
yeah. But like speaking of Twitter, I'm pretty sure that people are just moving over to Blue Sky because
Yeah, I hear that. For me, I'm just right now, I can only handle so much because yeah, I'm not
yeah,
on social media all the time.
me
Um,
neither. I kid you not, I just only literally post just projects or just voiceover announcements and
right,
stuff. But like I'm
right.
not on there to just be like, hey guys, so like I want to do a
Yeah,
live stream. No,
yeah,
no.
yeah. I just don't have the time for that. But
Yeah, I
people reach
just
out to me, and if I want to respond, I will. So it's
yeah.
cool.
I
Um,
mean, I don't use Twitter anymore because I
the
just, yeah,
politics.
no. And also TikTok is like, okay, you can do your thing, but it ain't for me. So,
Yeah, it's not for me either.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm good. You do you, whatever. Just be
right.
yourself, but it's not for me.
Yeah, yeah. I get it.
Yeah. another big thing is like knowing and also knowing know your limits, you know what I mean? And just for anything that you do. Like I had to turn down something that was a little NSFW, but I was just like, nah, not really feeling it. I'm not really
Yeah.
gelling. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's super important as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if there's something that you're not down with and just no, it's
Yeah,
not for me. Thank you. Anyway, it's
for
fine.
sure.
Yeah.
Anything else? Like any last words you wanna?
No, I think we covered a lot. I think
Yeah, and it's
just
only
have a
been
happy holiday and enjoy what you can of relaxation.
yeah, and this goes for all of you guys. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, God bless, seasons, greetings, whatever other holiday closeout I got.
Right.
This is Station Square, and yeah, be sure to see this and a lot of the other episodes that are in my backlog coming probably
Okay.
in January. So yeah, thank you so much. Uh, Peace and yeah, peace to all of y'all. Okay, no, I got a good one. God bless us, everyone. Season's greetings and peace. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
That's good. All
Peace to
right.
all and goodwill to everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.